to the channel, Farm with Nick. Thank you so much for joining me here on a brand new dairy farm series to the channel. And I'm on the mod map, Paoli, Wisconsin by MRG Mapping. And I'm just kind of like setting things up and kind of getting going here on the farm. And I've been kind of working on this map already, kind of testing some things here and there. And if you have clicked on this video, chances are you have also been playing on this map as well. So let me kind of share with you what I've been up to and why I picked this starting farm here. And I'll kind of take you around the farm, kind of show you what I purchased, but then let's just get right to work. And this is really kind of a new challenge series for me of trying to get out of debt, really. So you can see right now in my account, I'm at 49,000, and right now in the bank, I'm 100 grand in debt with the bank. So a new challenge for me, kind of just changing it up a little bit, and let's see if I can work my way out of debt. Now, I'm not starting from scratch. That is not the purpose of this playthrough series. Obviously, the first purpose is to play on this awesome map. It is just amazing. Probably, if not one of the best, the best dairy farm setups here now to FS25 by MRG Mapping. And if you haven't checked this map out, I highly recommend it. I have been playing on this already here and there, kind of just tooling around with things, figuring out which farm I wanted to play on. And if you haven't checked it out, yeah, I highly recommend it. And thank you. There's actually two channel members that kind of recommended and said, "Hey, we're going to be playing on this. Give it a look." And I absolutely love this map. It is just outstanding. So let me kind of just stop here so you can see. And we are doing like small equipment here on this setup too. So I'm not gonna go for big fields, large equipment. We're doing all the small. That's probably one of my favorite things to do. So yeah, I have the farm hall here hooked up to our New Holland mower, and then let's just run down to the side by side. And then I'll kind of take you around, and then I'll come back to get you some mowing. I don't know if we'll get to tedding here on this episode. And then I'll kind of show you why I just fell in love with this map, why this is going to be our new series here on the channel. And we're going to get going and see if I can get myself out of debt here. Now, I know it's not a ton in debt, but you'll see some of the challenges I'm going to be facing. So first, if you haven't played on this farm, it's kind of a longer farm. You have your ag bags back here, you have your bunkers back here. Now, one thing for me is I just prefer not to use a bunker and do all that kind of a method. I did test the bags over there, and it's pretty easy to use those, so I might utilize those more. But then coming up, I might kind of change this little layout back here, but for now, I'll leave it. So you have this big kind of like loading area here, plenty of space, and then you have your farmhouse, a little decoration bale, and then you have your first shop and barn here. And this is like your main one, and it does have a workshop trigger. Now, I have all the icon triggers on, and I normally don't play with them. I prefer not to. However, this being like completely new, and I don't really know the mods and the barns and the setup, It was honestly just easier to leave them on instead of having to toggle them on and off, on and off. So let's just drive the side by side in here. So I have 4955 John Deere. That's actually my biggest tractor here. Even though it's not like a super large one, that's the biggest one that I own. And then I have a little cattle trailer here, not too big. I have a baler over there as well. So yes, I did spend some money. Like I said, I'm not like starting from scratch completely, you know, starting with a chainsaw and a truck. I'm not doing that. But yes, I did purchase this and then, or the farm, and then I purchased some, you know, bare minimum equipment to kind of get me going here. So here's your main cattle barn here. That's what I'm going to use it as, my main milking barn. I have no cattle in there right now, as you can see, but we are going to purchase some on this episode, don't worry. And then you have your main barn here. And what a cool little setup in here. Your stalls, little corral system, and then that kind of goes to the back there, but a really nice setup. And see, something like this is just, you know, learning where the triggers are, that kind of thing, even though you can kind of put that one together. So if you've played on this map too, you know, I know I'm giving you a tour of something you've already seen, but all right, then we have our harvest store right there, which I do intend to use and try out, as well as the bags. And then I have a little blower there, and that's a extra mod I did download. And then we have our first little barn here. This is actually what we're gonna get some cattle for today. And I'm gonna just put some calves in there. I think it only holds 6, if I'm not mistaken. And then over here is another barn, heifer barn. And I'm probably going to use this more as like a breeding barn. So I'll put like a bull and some other cattle in there, and then see if I can get some calves out of there. Alright, then we have a bin here, and then I purchased a little bit of equipment to kind of get me going. So a very small little corn chopper harvester, the New Holland. So just 2 rows at a time. But at least, you know, so that's something to get me going. And then I have an Anderson cattle mixer. I have our windrower right here. And then on the back, I was able to fit our wrapper for silage. So I am planning on doing some baling and doing some wrapping with bales. I still like doing that. But yeah, obviously I want to use the harvest store and then use the ag bags for some other stuff too to make silage. And then I did have one Parker wagon here. I have a hay wagon, and I did purchase some silage. And we have to actually go to the store on this episode too. Oh my gosh, there's a lot to do. It's jam-packed. And then I have to go get some hay actually. And then I do have a grain cart over here. Don't know if I'll really use it. I actually do not have a combine on this playthrough. So if I do use something like that, I'll just lease it out. But yeah, no combine at all. I'm going to try something a little bit different. And then I have my tedder right there. And then this cool long barn here. All I have in there right now is the old reliable, my 4020. I brought that back into the series, and I just have front loader on it just for moving some straw bales. But you have some room in here, and then, you know, this is probably an old stall barn, and then you have like a door. You can kind of get out here. Gotta clear these weeds if I end up using it a little more like that. So, and then the back part, we have obviously some silos that we do not use anymore. A little bit safer to use the bags. And then we have another barn right here. And then I'm planning on, like, my intention is to either use this and put another bowl in there, or my calves from that first small barn, I'm going to move into this stall here. And then obviously this kind of just loops around. We have a pit right here, and then we're right back up to our back field here. So let me just show you, for the starting farm here, I own 38, 31, and 30, and that's all. I didn't purchase anything else. There's a bunch of different fields, different sizes, and, I'm probably not going to be doing, these large fields. That's probably just not what I'm going to do on this playthrough. My focus is going to be these smaller fields here, using the smaller equipment, and like these other smaller fields that are kind of around the map. That's my intention, is to like jump over to those and actually have some fun on, the rest of the map. I think that'll be really, really interesting. Something completely different. Let me, oh yeah, I want to show you something. So I've been doing this in my builds, and I really, really like this. And I know if you've been playing on this map, or if you haven't, check it out. But look at what MRRG did. This is just awesome, and I know I've seen it like on a bunch of other YouTubers channels, and when doing the map tours. But isn't that awesome? Those like permanent puddles like that. Oh my gosh, that is awesome. I just love it. So besides the layout of this, if I just go to build, I love the layout. I love the flow of this. I know I've watched some of his live streams, and he's been playing on this farm as well. I know he really likes it, but what a great layout. And it's not like a huge footprint, but I think what drew me to this, and it kind of just reignited my, interest, and like, I gotta play on this, and I'm like so excited to show you guys. I just love the layout of this. I love the different textures and the flow. It's a very tight-knit farm, but at the same time, there is space to expand and to kind of move out a little bit. But at the same time, if you want to run small equipment, this is like such a great dairy farm setup. I absolutely love it. It is just like phenomenal. So yeah, not to give you a whole like map tour. That is not my intent of this episode here, as we kind of get going here. But yeah, I love the puddle thing. I've been doing that in some of my builds too, kind of testing that out. And I've seen other YouTubers, other channels do that as well. So yeah, go for it. Really add some realism. And like, for example, over here, where is it? It's right here. Look at, there it is again. You get that cool water texture, or it would be low. That is just awesome. Now I don't know if it dries up, or if it swells in the spring or not, but I will find out doing this playthrough, and it might just stay the same, but that's fine. But yeah, what a cool idea. So I love that. But I love this this farm too. So we're gonna get back to that farm hall. So yeah, I'm kind of starting with just really three tractors, not much equipment, enough to kind of get, I feel like, enough to get off my feet. We're kind of in the hole here, not super wealthy, and we're gonna try to make the best of this playthrough series here and earn some money. That's my challenge here, kind of get out of debt. So my other thing is, for this playthrough series, and I kind of always switch it up, we're actually gonna go buy some calves right now, so that's why I'm taking this out. I'm gonna buy some calves for that small barn right there, so let's go to the animal dealer, but I'll chat with you. So one of my other things is I love to kind of change up the settings this playthrough series. I'm gonna go to seasons again, a good thing, and I'm also for this I'm just gonna take off the the crop rotation calendar. So I know I'm not going to follow it completely. I'll probably just, do what I want a little bit. Obviously, I'm not going to be harvesting or planting in winter or something really obscure. Don't worry. But yeah, pretty much I want to keep that off just so maybe I can do a little bit more on the field work. But I'm going to go back to seasons. My last playthrough, my 5th generation farm, I took that off and just played, the whole time and just kept whatever I wanted. So I think, for me personally, changing up those settings, it really does kind of, keep it fresh for me. And it, just kind of gives me like a new challenge and something to look forward to when I do change the setting back. And after this playthrough series, inevitably I will be like, all right, now I'm gonna change it again. So that's just my little 2 cents, just to kind of keep myself engaged a little bit. But yeah, I'm going back to seasons. So we'll go through the fall, go through winter, come back in the spring, all that good stuff, and then I am taking the crop calendar off. That's another thing. So right now I have it at 0.5 for the time speed. I'll probably, as I kind of get going here and get through some tasks, I'll probably shift that up a little bit and maybe go 2 or 3 times speed. But for right now, as I'm kind of getting going, there's a lot of traffic here. I'm just gonna keep it simple. Oh, did you see that truck? My truck. It's kind of bopping there a little bit. Wow, there is so much traffic. There it is again. That's so funny. I turn. Come on, Nick. Alright, you see it bopping there every time I stop? That's so funny. I never noticed that before. And this is the latest version of the map, by the way. The latest one, I think it just dropped on the 14th, I think. I already passed the barn, didn't I? I'm not even paying attention. Yeah. I think it just dropped on the 14th or 13th. But yeah, this is the latest version of the map, too. Alright, so let's go here. Oops. Smash. Alright. And I think I'm over the trigger. I unload them here. Or I have to go, let's see, do I have to go, oh, that's so weird. Do I have to go by the, there we go, oops. No, I want to unload them, let's see. I'm doing it wrong. There we go. There we go. All right, move to husbandry. Okay. So I had to be like a little bit in front of that trigger to get it go. All right, there we are. Awesome. I think I can hold, yes, I can hold 12 in here. I guess let's just start with 6. But I'm going to go get some more cattle. So let's get them in the main barn. So I'm going to only need 6 in this trailer. Not much. But let's do one more drive. And I actually want to put, and then I have to go get some feed. Man, this is a lot to do on this episode here. I want to go get some feed, and also, yeah, because I need some hay. Couldn't think of it. I also want to show you the other farms, and I know some of you are probably playing on that white farm on the south end of the map. Oh my gosh, it is amazing. Now that is the other one. I was very, very torn. I know I've watched a lot of other channels on this map, and they're like, wow, these are great farms, and they're so good. It's so tempting just to play on both. I mean, why pick one? But I chose the red farm because I want to use the smaller equipment again, and when I go down to the white farm, I'll show you why I did not choose it in the end. But my gosh, that white farm on the south end of the map, it is just great. Just great. Amazing. Alright. So I can only hold 6. I want a bowl. So... And then I guess we're just going to go with 28 months. And that's 12,000. Yeah. Alright, just to kind of get me going here. What is that? Oh my gosh. That looks so funny. Well, it holds, it said it holds 6. Yeah, that looks a little silly, doesn't it? Oh my gosh. Me rocking out and my truck shaking back and forth and the cattle's head out for a nice cool breeze, and you know, the other end out too. Oh my, just a regular comedy sideshow over here. I like this farm truck, this Ford F-150. I'm not sure if I'm going to like it after a couple of videos on here. I think by episode 5, I'm going to be like, alright, I'm done with the shaking, you know. Alright, I got to be aggressive here. This is nasty. There's busy traffic here in Wisconsin. There. It's a little more aggressive. I got it. Okay, so where do I want to place these? So I want to place them here. Because I want to breed more calves, and then I could get them to the that main milking barn. That's where I kind of want everything eventually, so I guess let's do that. I wasn't planning on putting them in here, but yeah, let's do this. But I could always get another 6. I mean, I'm not doing too great on finances, so I might have to wait. Alright, I wonder if I can get the trigger. Will it give it to me here? I had to have this, like, closer. Here we go. Okay. Move in, and move in. Alright, now let's check. There they are. And which one is our bull? It's black. Darker looking one. Nope, that's a cow. Cow. There he is. Yeah, you can see it on it. Perfect. Alright. And does this? I don't think this... I don't know. Oh, yes, it does say it has... And then where would the milk trigger be on here? There's the straw trigger. I did some straw earlier in there. That's why you saw it on maybe the bottom. I don't know where the milk is. Well, I want to get more calves anyway, so I guess it's fine. We'll leave them in there for now. Alright. Actually, let's just leave the animal trail out here. Just do a loop and go by the barn. Oh, watch out, neighbor's corn. I'm so sorry. Okay. We'll just leave the trailer. That's actually a great spot for it, actually. Okay, so I need to get some feed. Why don't you come with me? Let me get the hay wagon out. We need to get in our tractor. I don't know if I only have 3 tractors, like I said, so I don't know if I want to take... I could take the 4020. Oh my gosh, it's going to take forever to get into town. But I can take the 4955 too. Alright, so let's purchase some hay bales quick so we can feed. And probably just worry about the straw later. Let's do... Whoosh, oh my gosh. We're gonna go to debt this episode. $6,000. Right, thanks. Alright. Yeah, eventually my goal is to take off the interactive triggers as I kind of get used to this, setup a little more. And if you're playing on it, you know, do you use the interactive triggers? Is that something you can play without? I'm trying my best to play without that help menu too in the top left. Kind of wanted to take that away. I'm kind of tired of looking at it, but at the same time, you know, it gets so easy to like rely on that, where, and I try my best not to. Oh, I just love that. Oh my gosh, I don't think that'll get old. The whole time on this playthrough series, that is not gonna get old, going through those puddles. And I guess when it does, that's my cue to do a different playthrough series. But I don't know. I think it'll be good. I gotta put my flasher on. Will they pass me here? I wonder if they would. No, they're so nice here. No, if you're from Wisconsin, you have some great neighbors. Alright, I'm just gonna let them pass me. I'm not going that fast. This is it. So, if you haven't checked out this map, there's another, I mean, they're all cattle farms anyways, but there's another one up here. So I'm driving up. We can take a quick pit stop here. This is probably going to be a longer episode anyways. But yeah, this is an awesome build. Now, I would come over here, but this is like just decoration. I mean, if I'm looking at it wrong, I don't know. I did purchase it when I was kind of playing around. But yeah, this is just decoration. I wish you could have animals or cattle in here. I'd actually utilize this along with my operation down there. But I mean, the main thing is you know, this very, very large setup here. It is awesome, and there's a lot of room for expansion. You know, even from my little setup that I'm gonna start on. I mean, if you come into here, wow, I feel like you're definitely in the big leagues then. But yeah, that is not my intent. My intent is to do a smaller dairy series. I really liked my one on Alma, but a lot of the collisions, that's kind of what got me. After a while, it was kind of hard to keep playing on that, so it's time to move on. Alright, it's going to take a while to get out here. Now there's another... Where does that one go? That just goes to the other one. There's another farm down here. And I guess as we're down here, I'll probably just go into the build mode. I'll show you those. Oh my gosh, there they are. To my left. Those other 2 beautiful farms. It was so hard to pick. There's like another little setup. I think it's really functional, but you can use the sheds and stuff. But yeah, another great little farm there. And I gotta watch the road. Then up here, you have a nice like pole barn, you know, cold storage that you could use. And then I love this like you know, just a dilapidated barn kind of look. The wood is all gone, the roof collapsed in, and you just have the frame, the outline of where it was. I just love that. Okay, this is taking a while. So on my other playthrough series, I have been using the same tractor, but I've been using the dual tires on it. So for right now, I put the singles on it. I might, when I get to other field work, so there's your co-op, elevator, all that good stuff. Here's your store, and the bales are in the back of the store here. But yeah, I might put the double set of tires on here eventually, but for now, I thought this was fine. But yeah, I don't have, I mean, you saw my equipment. I mean, I don't have a planter, I have nothing. So we're starting way at the bottom here. Right. And it should be auto load here. Ugh. And this is why I try not to use the help menu. There we go. Okay. So yeah, not a lot of bales for hay, but, you know, it'll kind of get me by a little bit. And so I did, so that one field that I'm mowing in, actually, I did change that. And I changed that to a grass field right away, just to kind of give me a little bit to... Oh gosh, am I going to make it across this? Gotta gun it. Just to kind of get me off the ground and running, as the one corn field is ready. And I'll probably get out with that New Holland in a little bit too. Not this episode, but pretty soon. So, all right, let me go while we're over here to these farms. So really fast. I'm not going to spend a whole time a lot. You know, this is not a map review, but I just absolutely love this setup too. I mean, this just is amazing. It's amazing. So you have your back kind of like feedlot and cattle pen here, and honestly I might end up kind of, you know, leasing out this part and keeping some of my cattle way back here on the map. I just love this. So you have cattle like roaming all throughout these two pens, you know, and around here. It's awesome. But then this is such a beautiful farm. You have this white farm, very, very large, sprawling, and all these different sheds, pens. What a great, beautiful setup. It is amazing. So the reason that I did not come over here, and you know, if you're playing on this farm, you know, absolutely go for it. It is outstanding. The reason that I didn't come over here, and when I was testing stuff out, you know, you can put cattle in this barn here. You can put cattle in here, but the cattle right here are only they're confined right into this little stall here. So you don't have cattle coming into the barn. You don't have any cattle unless, you know, there's an update someday, but you don't have cattle walking through here by the troughs. You don't have cattle walking in any of these back lots. And right here, you don't have any cattle. So your other spots for cattle on this white farm are over here, which you have them in these freestall pens, and then you have another barn right here for cattle. So one thing, it just, I don't know, for me, it's very, very nitpicky, but one thing for me, not having any cattle kind of roaming through this back pen was just a little bit, you know, I don't know, it was just different to see, I guess. And not that it is bad, because it is amazing. But that was my one thing when I was testing it out and putting cattle in. It just, oops, I don't want to hit that sign. It just looked a little different because you didn't have them through there. So that was my only thing with that. So all right. Let me kind of just bring you back here in a sec when I get up to the farm. Okay, so back on the farm here, and just help speed up time a little bit. Alright, and let me just place these hay bales just over here off to the side. And this is probably fine here. Alright, and I'll just drive around. Let's do a loop with the hay wagon here. But yeah, it's a slow go going into town to grab some bales and come back. Not a super fast process by any means. Alright, there we go. So let's feed the cattle. Now, this is going to be one of my longer episodes, but I hope you're enjoying the content, enjoying this new playthrough series as much as I am. Absolutely love it here. Alright, so we got our mixing wagon. Alright, and I am just going to throw up some bales into our mixer here. You know, I'm not using the... I'm cheating a little bit. There we go. We'll just do one batch to start. Should turn into TMR. Seeing forage, but yeah, I've done this a lot. Yeah, it should be TMR. Well, let's just put some in. It says dump forage. Oh, now it's gone. Where's the trigger? One away. Alright, unless I have to go the other way. Well, let's go in here, I guess. But yeah, I've done this like, you know, a million times, having the, see if it gives it to me there. No. Pretty sure it's on that side. But yeah, I've done this with, you know, 2 silage bales to one hay, and I've always made TMR that way. Let's see. Oh. Alright, maybe this is something I gotta figure out. But yeah, I've done this with the Anderson, and actually on this map, kind of playing around with it earlier. We've made, we've made TMR. Not that it needs it, you know, just make the silage, you know. Let's go into, let's see. Oh, it already gave it to me there. Yeah. Oh, it just put it in as silage. Okay. This one, I guess I have to go the other way around. Okay. Alright, so it took it. It said it came in as silage. Even though it's listing it now as forage. But on the earlier version of the game, I'm pretty sure, like always, it gave me the TMR. Yeah, it's saying forage here. We'll just dump in the rest. I don't know, I'll figure that out later. but they are fed. Now I'll get some straw to that. I'm gonna have to get some straw here on the farm too. Wow, got a lot to do. So they're good. They don't need any, which I always kind of think it's funny when some of the pens say that they don't need any water, you know, nothing to drink. This turn, I am not a great backer-upper on farm sim. I'm probably one of the worst. I know some of you would beg to differ, but I feel like I am terrible. I'm better in real life. That wasn't too bad. Those are my better ones. Alright, so we're good there with the cattle for a little bit. I'll figure out what that's gonna do. Let me get back out to mowing, and then I think I'm gonna call it good there. So my other thing, and let's park the tractor. I have that corn ready in the small little field here, and so I'm gonna hook up that New Holland harvester, and I'm gonna get going on that. And I know it's a 2-row harvester. Some of you are gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, that is very hard to watch you do that," but you know, I'll probably get going on, and it's this long field that's right in front of me. It kind of looks like a J or something, the J field. But yeah. All right, let's hop out here and let's kind of finish up this mowing, and then I think that's gonna wrap it up here for episode 1. So thank you so much for joining me with all like this that's been going on here on the farm already. I feel like I'm off to, you know, busy start here, and very productive start. Now I started with 49,000 down to 26, and I believe that there are contracts. I really do not want to do contracts, but you know, if I ever have to see like this one, 2,000, 3,000, you know, some fertilizing, I can see myself doing that. Irrigation, like those aren't bad. This is at communal services, the mowing, roadside mowing mod. So there are options for that. I'd rather not, if possible, but you know, if I get really low, I mean, we're down to 26,000 now. If I get really low, then absolutely, I'm gonna have to, you know, figure something out and do a little bit here and there, kind of help out the neighbors, you know, all that good stuff. But now as the cornfields are going to be coming in for me, you know, I don't own that little field. That's probably my first field I'm going to buy once I have enough money. And let's just check. How much is that field? You know, I'm like running overtime here. Oh my gosh, 8,000. What a steal. I mean, can't buy land around my area of the Midwest for 8,000. But anyways, yeah, I'm definitely buying that. And I think, geez, if I even sell all that corn and cut it for silage and then just sell it at the co-op, I'll probably make my money back on that. So even that field that's straight ahead of me right there, that one will be ready to go here shortly. So then I'll continue my corn cutting there, and hopefully can start selling it. Because my cattle, I mean, what, I have 12. I have 6 calves and 6 cows. Or, well, yeah, 6 cows, one bull in there. So not much, but you know, something to kind of get me going. And then as I continue to grow, then I can move those cattle into the other pen. So I'm really excited about that. So a completely different challenge, like I said, something a little bit different. Hopefully you enjoy that. You know, now it's the, you know, can I create a dairy farm? Can I sustain it? And then also, can I get out of debt here as I'm doing that and not have to borrow any more money? So, and I'm starting with very minimal equipment. What, I got 3 tractors, enough to kind of get some hay and silage off the fields, and a little bit of equipment to actually cut my corn, and that's about it. Don't have any manure spreaders, nothing for slurry, no combine, like I said, no big forage harvester. So yeah, this will be quite the challenge, but I am up for it. I am so excited, and I just love this farm. It is just amazing. So if you haven't checked it out, I highly recommend, I'm talking and moving, I highly recommend this map by MRG Mapping. Give him a download, give him some watch hours, likes, all that good stuff, support him if you want with his maps. Just amazing. So I'm so thankful for the 2 subs, like I said earlier in the video, that showed me about this map, and excited for episode 2 already. I'll probably keep playing here off camera a little bit, and then bring it back for episode 2 sometime soon. So thank you again for joining me. If you're new to the channel or just finding me through this Paoli, Wisconsin map, hopefully I'm saying that right, I'd love to have you tag along, join the farm in the community, let me know what you think, and follow along with my other farm builds here on FS25, and hopefully you'll continue to watch, see if we can get out of debt here, and continue building this whole dairy cattle operation here in Wisconsin. So thank you to the returners as always, and I hope to see everybody on the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.